I used to be a people pleaser, and then I became a stripper. And I very quickly learned that there was nothing in the world that could protect me more in the energy of a strip club than stepping into my dark feminine energy.
Men are naturally supposed to submit to women, period, point blank. Men like hierarchies. That's why they're in the military. That's why they like boy groups, etc., etc. Okay? If you're not his boss, he assumes the boss position. That cannot be. That means you need to tap into your dark feminine. How do you tap into your dark feminine? You know damn well that you're the boss and nobody's above you ever under any circumstance. A man has come out of a woman and will always want to go back inside a woman.
And the last thing that a woman in her dark feminine would be concerned about is how to keep a man. So many of these femininity coaches are telling you a list of what to do when the feminine in all of her aspects is about being.
Dark feminine energy, how to command attention without saying one word. Seduce with silence. When everyone's loud, the one who speaks sparingly becomes the most intriguing. Leave them wondering what's on your mind. You don't have to say everything. Move like you're rare. Make direct eye contact, then look away as if you've already decided that the conversation is over. That momentary dismissal is intoxicating. Unpredictability is power. People crave predictability. It makes them comfortable. Keep them on their toes by changing the script whenever they think that
He who triggers controls his mind.
Here's a feminine seduction tip that literally will get any man of your desire to be falling to his knees for you. Number one, you need to understand that we are all subconsciously linked. So that means you can telepathically actually connect and talk to other people.
It's come to my attention as the real skill that everyone needs is something that I'm very talented in, and I've spent over 20 years honing this skill, and that's asking for money. My credentials are I've never had a job and I'm 26 years old.
This is what you're going to do the next time you're with the targets that you want to seduce. Ladies, don't be boring. Life is not boring, and it shouldn't be. Every woman has two sides, the light feminine and the dark feminine. The light feminine is the princessy, soft-love queen angel, and the dark feminine is the siren, the goddess, the temptress. You can unleash her anytime you want.
This is how to collect money from a man without crying, begging, or even embarrassing yourself. Remember that my advice is bad advice and bad advice only. So good girls, scroll past. Bye.
He who triggers controls his mind.
If you can trigger a man the way that you want to trigger him, you then control how he thinks and how he feels.
Here are 3 tips to tap into your siren energy and literally seduce anyone you want. When you are in your siren energy, you are a magnetic seductress and goddess.
This is all an act. This is called acting. Do you remember my name? Like, play with them, flirt with them. Look at it, turn your head, flirt. Do you remember my name? Of course I do. How could I forget? I was like, ha ha ha. I was hoping you would, flirt big time. Don't just be nervous and like, hi, So then you grab his hand. Go for the hand because that is what you want, that contact. So you can tell if he's nervous, if his hand is sweating, if he's shaking, and then you know how to get him. You know what I'm saying? So you walk up to him and you grab his hand or you give him a hug and you greet him. Hi, how you doing? And say, let's go. You kind of lead him like a child. Like, I'm so excited, but not like you're the leader, but like you're happy. And then you kind of slow down, walk side by side. Okay. So this is going to give him the impression that you're happy like a child. And he's not going to see you as someone who's super independent that can pay everything and don't need help.
Am I the only one that thinks this is weird? Okay, so now we're using, quote, dark energy, unquote, to try to control men and basically get our bills paid. And clearly this isn't working because many women are still single, they're still broke, and men are leaving and grabbing their passports or just staying out of the game. So obviously these love potions and dark spells and dark energy and all this dark makeup and all this, it's obviously not working. One of the reasons I believe women embrace witchcraft is because it gives them the freedom and the agency to create a spirituality outside of the accountability of men. The problem with that is men not only do they bring structure and order and safety and protection, men are actually called to lead. And when they're not leading, society falls apart. And the problem with this whole dark feminine energy BS is that what it's essentially trying to do is give women the illusion that they have control over men, that they have the ability to control people, places, things, situations, and they don't. They're not God. At best, they may be able to get some results depending upon how deep they are into witchcraft, but that's always going to come at a price that is much higher than what they're willing to pay. It's not good. And at its purest form, these ladies are actually going against divine order. When you're trying to control and manipulate the men who are actually probably called to guide you and instruct you and protect you and all those different things, like when you're trying to control and exert control over people who are called to lead, and by the way, who you're supposed to be helping, y'all out here trying to figure out how to get stuff from him, and you don't even want to help him. This is why half of them are going abroad and grabbing their passports, because that's a really poor deal. And we've seen decades upon decades upon decades of the disintegration of masculinity and an understanding of what masculinity actually is, and the respect and honor ascribed to it. This is why, a lot of men are going away. This is why a lot of men are just like checked out, because they're like, we're not trying to deal with this. Now you got women over here trying to do all these games, dark energy, trying to use witchcraft, trying to do tarot cards and spells and telepathic chant. Like, this is crazy. I'm just going to bounce. And I'm going to go to Thailand, or I'm going to go to Africa. I'm going to go to Colombia or the DR or whatever. And I'm going to leave peacefully. I'm not dealing with all of this foolishness, because best believe this is foolishness. It's kind of sad. Now you got women over here really trying to convince other women that all they got to do is change their makeup and put on a dark dress and bat their eyes and be a little silent, and then everything they want's going to come to them. Like, can we please be for real? This is just the result of an economy that is putting women under more pressure. Ladies trying to figure it out outside of the constraints of God and the community that he's given them, and it's not really working out well. So ladies, please don't get caught up into this foolishness. Please don't do it. Return to the natural order. Go find you a spiritual community where you can get some guidance and leadership, okay? And make sure that spiritual community has some men, okay? I'm not talking about you going with a couple with a whole bunch of different 5 or 6 other women and y'all making up your own potions and your own spells and trying to get men to get you some money. No. Can you please go into a church, go somewhere where there's fruit, where you see people who are actually functioning, there's trusted spiritual leaders, and get plugged in, okay? Because this is not working and it will not work, okay? And with what's coming, you're not going to be able to navigate this with some love potions and some dark eyeshadow. You're going to actually need some real spiritual power, and that's only going to come from God and aligning yourself with him. And that's not going to come from trying to be a siren, a Jezebel, or trying to do some love trick or some spell to get men to pay all your bills. It's not going to happen. Only God can help you. Okay. Anyways, yeah, that's what I got. What y'all think? Let me know down in the comment section. Thank you so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.